My name is Stacy Pattarelli and I'm with Integrity Data. And we're going to be showing you our solution, the HR solution. I want to thank Dynavistics for having us do this demo today. But before we get into the demo, I want to introduce my team to you. I just introduced myself here, Stacy Pattarelli. We also have Danny Clemenson, who will be doing the technical side of the demo. And we have Jill Lester, who will be the delivery specialist. So you guys might have seen or hear from her. She's on our support team. Okay, so let's get started. Integrity Data, I want to talk a little bit about us. You probably all know about us, have heard about us because we've been in this business for 25 years. We've been a gold Microsoft partner. We are the experts in HR and payroll experience. You're probably using a few of our products today. And you probably heard about some announcements that have been through the community about some of the solutions that are now ours that used to be Microsoft. And then I also talked a little bit about our strong customer support team, and that is Jill and some development team. Now, these people have been using Dynamics GP for over 25 years. So I really like to talk about how Integrity Data has that strength on our side. So I mentioned earlier about our payroll solutions. You might be using some of our payroll solutions today. A comprehensive leave manager allows you to do accruals. Our employee email suites allows you to email out your earning statements and W-2s, or you might be using some of our other solutions like our negative deductions. So you can correct, deductions within GP, easily correct, I should say, right? And then negative payroll transactions. There's so many of them, but I don't want to waste too much of your time going over them, but you can go to our website and take a look at them. And then also the announcement that we made in the last few months about our solutions that Microsoft was, I'm going to say renting from us, but now they don't want to rent anymore. So we said, hey, we still want to be the payroll experts. We still want payroll to be part of the product, which they are still part of the product. And I should say GP payroll is not going away. As you saw in the announcements, Terry Haley has done a demo too, talking about it's here to stay. 2028 is looking at the forecast and beyond. So they're still developing the tax updates and everything else for GP payroll. What we're just doing is say, hey, we don't want these solutions to be on the wayside. We want to keep developing them for you. We want them to still be in the product. We want them to be enhanced for you. So you'll see that you own payroll extensions today. The products that are under payroll extensions today will now be under Integrity Data come March 22. And then also the advanced human resource and payroll along with PTO manager will also be under March 22. If you have any questions like that, you can talk to Dynavistics and they'll give you an update. We've been talking to them closely about what are the next steps. So they are here to hold your hand on that. Now, what we really want to talk about too today is our Integrity Data HRP solution. We're talking about one solution, this circle. You don't see any breaks in it, right? We are the entire employee life cycle. How many of you are here today that says, you know, I'm tired of getting these emails from my employees asking me how much vacation time do I have left? What is my timesheet? I know I worked overtime this week. I can't see it. Can you send it to me? These are questions that we want you to help answer by just not even answering them, by having a portal for them and letting them see what it is. Or maybe they're entering their time right there from their mobile phone. Maybe you're doing some recruiting and you're tired of going to another website. You can do it all in this one solution. It is offered by us, Integrity Data, one solution. There's not one other person you need to go to. It's just Integrity Data. So today's agenda, what we're going to do is Danny's going to demo as he's an HR administrator. He's going to be doing an applicant, tracking that applicant during the process. So maybe he's connected to Indeed or ZipRecruiter or something like that. You can do that or go on board. He wants to show you how an employee can be processed on board. Thank God you don't have to be saying, come on into the office and show me all these pieces of paper that I need to fill out and have no clue sometimes what they are. So he will go through that onboarding process with you. He can show you how reviews can be done in the system with employees and how reporting is very simple. We have 44 reports in there and how they can be utilized in making your own report that you want to do. Then he'll bring you through an employee self-service. So I'm an employee and I want to see my W-2s. I want to see my time off that I requested. I want to make sure that as an employee, if I do happen to, I don't know, have a divorce this month, maybe like Elizabeth, I was like Elizabeth Taylor, 10 divorces. She's got to make sure she's tracking all those people, right? Where she's getting a divorce from. So then we're also talking about a manager who's actually saying, nah, you don't have any time off. You can't take it off. So those are people that are going to be watching their employees. So they're right there to watch it. They don't have to be right there in the office seeing what that employee is doing. So without further introductions, Danny Clemenson, who will be showing our HRP solution.
So here we have the landing page or the dashboard, whatever you want to call it, for the HR admin. As you can see, I'm listed as the HR admin. I'm signed in as me. I'm also going to show just a tad of time here also as the admin. So I'm going to wear 3 different hats. Again, as Stacey said, I'm going to be the admin. I'm going to go in as the employee, and then I'm going to show the supervisor view, and then we'll come back to the admin and talk a little bit further about that if there's any questions or anything like that. So let me start by, again, it's got a bunch of graphics here. It's got that wonderful donut to tell us what department people are in. Down here, I've got some easy access to employee information. Here's my hiring. This is a place we're going to spend a lot of time in today. Benefits, we'll talk lightly about. Expenses, we can do expense management. I would not consider it, I would consider it an expense management light, but it's a pretty good tool. Company information, company setup in that. And then reporting, we'll touch base on reporting and some of the auditing that you can do within the system. So in here, again, I am in the HR admin. So I am seeing everybody that's in the company. And so with that, I'm going to see all the W-4 pendings. I just approved one. I was going to set that up. Also, all the scheduled reviews that are out here. It looks like we're behind on some stuff here, so I need to talk to some people. My certificates. I've got a certificate that May is her CPR certifications due. I've also got some driver's license that are due. Looks like I need to get after my supervisors. Over here, I'm going to see the time off request. Again, I can reject or approve here. Again, I'm seeing all employees so that if somebody, Nicholas, I know he's a manager, he might be out. I want to be able to approve this information for him. Birthdays that are coming up, anniversaries, custom links and resources. This brings us out to our website. And then the company announcements are over here. I put a link to our internal job site so we can see that we're looking for some cat herders out here. So we can apply right from here, from internal. And also the W-2s are available as of January 1st. So from here, I'm going to open it up. So this is the view for the admin. I've got security wide open here. So again, it's a role-based security. So I can set it down so that people can only see certain things. And you'll see that when I get into the supervisor and when I get into the actual employee. So, so again, over here is the company information, but we're going to spend some time in the applicant tracking. First of all, there's a question bank here. And the thing about the question bank is this can be tailored to what the organization needs and wants for those questions. Again, you can easily add a new question. You can go in and change the different questions here. So let's take a look at this 2 years of cat herding experience. All right, so we've got the different question types. We can go yes, no, free form text. Again, tell us a little bit about yourself. What date are you available? Or multiple choice, what are your favorite colors or something to that effect. Again, tailored to what you want. It's an active question. I put it in the sequence so that it'll bubble up in the actual applications where I want that to be. Again, I could put this as a lower number so it pops up at the top. Is it required? Yes. Is it a knockout question? Yes. So now if I answer yes, it's going to continue me through the application. If I answer no, I need a cat herder that has 2 years experience, it's going to knock that out and send the application on its way. We don't want those applications. So again, you can see all the questions I've got out here. I got 67 of them out here. We start out with a bunch of questions. Again, not everybody has a question like cat herders. So again, tailored to your organization. So status setup really is the workflow. So again, an application starts. Again, you can see my sequencing numbers here that are, the applicant start, the applicant's completed, there's an auto rejection, applicant reviewed, all the way down to, making the offer. This gets sent out to the employee then, or the employee or the applicant to accept or reject the offer. So an email gets sent out to them, and then it's goes into either rejected, or we're going to move into they've accepted the offer, and we're going to move them into prepping on board. And then the last is the onboarding complete. So it flows right through, that workflow flows right through here. Custom form setup. Again, you can add, you can change whatever you want here. I've just generated, it gives you a sample one, but again, I could add information on here right on the end to what I wanted to say, save that change. It'll actually go on to the application as part of the ending of the application. Application versions. So I've got one cat herder application version, but I might be looking for a cat herder in Chicago. I might be looking for one in New York, Minneapolis, Albuquerque, New Mexico even. But that application, I can reuse that application. So you can see where I've got a skill key skill word, likes cats. I could add, just by putting a plus sign in here, I could add another one. What else would we want to ask there? Anybody? Clean litter boxes. Again, I can go over here. I can add more questions out of that question bank, or I can remove some of these. Say, for instance, we don't know about that. We can just remove that. We can go over here to the application. We want employment history. Do we want pay history? Yes or no? Again, if you've seen any of my other demonstrations, Dan calls these switchy things. So he's got the development department calling them that. Again, work conditions. I can ask questions about work conditions. Again, these key skills and keywords, I can ask that, either turn that off. Custom forms, documents, EEO, and certifications. Again, going through here, we're going to see some custom forms that are selected out here. Also, the EEO disclaimer. Again, you can change this to what, this is just the sample. You can change it to what you want. Again, very tailored to what you want as an organization. Along with that, I always think of whenever, I always try to stay away from customizing things, as I know that in customizations, especially with GP, when you go to do upgrade, you have to make sure that those customizations are taken care of and tested and all that. So again, that whole idea of being able to configure it or tailor it rather than customizing. So, and if you have something that you don't see in the product, again, let us know so that Dan can get that on the actual roadmap. So here's the job posting. So next is that job posting. As I said, I can continue to use that same application at these different locations. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one in Boston. And so we're going to see the job positions open. It's in Boston. Lead a team of cats, software engineers on a mission to build a continuous improved real-time mission critical system. Requisition number, here's that application version. So if I wanted to put a different application version out there, I could do that. Again, the position here, here's my recruiters. I can add a recruiter. Again, it can be an internal recruiter so that I can set a supervisor or a manager as the recruiter so they see those come in as the actual applications come in. We'll show that in a few minutes here. So again, the job postings out to those job pages. Here's the actual link out here. So if I go back to now that I've seen my job postings, I can go out to the applicant tracking dashboard, and there's Joe. So we can see actually where he is in the application. He's been sent an email that he started the application, so he can go right back into the application and finish the application. Okay. So even if he goes all the way through it, and has some more questions, he can close it. He can come back in and actually, finish up the application that way also. So let's take a look at, here's where we're going to see, and I have to remember which one it was, is Bob Hope. Again, application complete, schedule the initial interview, make the offer, accept the offer, prep for onboarding. Here's the application summary. So if we look at that, we're going to see that the application summary is out here. What he actually answered in that. And his driver's license on here. So with that, as we think of the employee life cycle, all this documentation stays with the employee through the life cycle. So all these documents, all these W-2s, all those W-4s, all those I-9s, all stay with the actual employee. So as you can see, I've got a bunch prepped for onboarding here, and I've got an onboarding complete, Bob Robertson. So let's go and move from here. Of course, I'm looking also at just my open positions. I also have history of all that here. If I apply that, I'm going to see all the other applicants, and you can see that I've had quite a few different applicants here. So let's go back here. I'm going to clear that filter, and one more time, and open, apply that filter. And I don't know what I did, but so that's the applicant tracking dashboard. So let's move over on to the onboarding. So now, and you don't have to have somebody go through the applicant tracking. If you don't want to, you can hire them right there. I can just do onboarding prep right here. However, I don't know why you wouldn't want that, information coming across here. So let's take a look at, again, we have another question bank here. I've got some simple questions here, rate the application and onboarding. Again, that whole thing of a multiple choice, yes, no, free form. Of course, the yes, no is not going to do a kick out because you've decided to hire this person. You just want to know that yes, no. And here's my shirt size, so on and so forth. So with that, we also have what we consider the task list. So this is kind of your workflow and what the employee is going to have to fill out. I see there's a full-time rehire here. I always think of, whenever you think of termination, I always just cringe. It's a bad thing. Maybe somebody voluntarily decided they're going to try something. There's what do they say? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. But we'd love to have that employee back so we can terminate them, but also mark them as a rehire in case they decide that, yeah, the grass really isn't greener on the other side of the fence. So this is the full-time one. So I'm going to go into this one here. This is a brand new employee. So I'm going to see the full-time onboarding. I'm going to see that title. I want them to attach a driver's license. I want to put include a welcome note, include direct deposits. You can do up to 4 direct deposits during the onboarding. Include the W-4, the I-9. We can set up WOTC if you're using WOTC, which I understand is a lucrative piece if you want to take that thing on. Also include company documents. I can have employee handbook. I can actually have them sign and attach a form of that. So it's actually signed off on, yes, I've read the form in that. We can do custom forms that fill out, something that's maybe similar to, again, your W-4, your I-9. We can do that customization also for you, like this Panther manual arbitration policy. Include background check. National Crime Search is the one we're set up with right now. Include custom questions. And that's where I've got that shirt size in that. Include document upload. That's the actual driver's license, and include an end note in the signature there. And here's my custom questions. Again, I can remove a question right from here, or I can bring in another question off the question bank to set that up. And here's my welcome note and my end note here. So I'm just going to save changes there. And so those are again, you can have different, part-time sales, part-time security, part-time retired, those different pieces that you want set up out there. And the onboarding prep. So again, we can do it from the application dashboard or the application posting, or we can do it right here, if you have a walk-in or something to that effect. So let's look at the onboarding dashboard here. So we're seeing I've got a bunch of people prepped here, but I do have an employee that's gone all the way through it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. And here's the actual onboarding piece. Up here, we have what we call in a private internal onboarding notes. So if they made a mistake and we want them to go back and fix something, we could put that note in there, save it, and regenerate the onboarding so they fix that. Again, we can see all the information out here, what the benefits, eligible, their emergency contact, what shirt size, some open questions here that we asked, the free-form text, their state withholdings. Here's their W-4, and they've signed off on it. Their I-9, and they've signed off on that. And here's the routing. Maybe this is, it looks like he's set up so he didn't want direct deposit. Maybe that's a question I want to ask. Or it's required that you do set up more and more, or people are getting away from checks completely and just doing direct deposit. So you can do that. Of course, he didn't sign off on that because he hasn't done that. Review the company documents. There's that handbook and that sign. Signatures on just acknowledgement of pieces there. Here's his driver's license that he has attached and he signed off on that. And then you're going to see all the documents that come along with that. So it stays right with the employee. So I'm going to finish here. Let's close this up. So now I could just approve this. Again, I could reset this status. It would send that back out to him. So far, we've talked about the applicant tracking and onboarding, how to find employees, and then how to bring them on board. So the next piece I wanted to talk a little bit about is reporting. We've got 44 standard reports that are out here. Again, your EEO types, your employee audit. Let's see what else I've got out here. Upcoming events, upcoming reviews, worker comp types. But we also have what we call the quick report writer. And what's not, we can also customize reports. We can build custom reports for you. But the quick report writer, this works on concept. So it's a real nice ad hoc. So let's look at direct deposits. Who's out there? We can do some filters on this and we can screen output. Is this what we want it to look like? This looks good. Or we can go over here and we can remove fields because it's suggesting the ones we think we want, but we can go over here and add the different fields that maybe we want to add to that report. Now, once we've been satisfied, we get the screen output, we can push this out to CSV, but we can also save this report configuration. So I've got a couple of reports out here that I've saved. And one is I've done an expense report for May. And you can see down here on the bottom, you're going to see May's employee number, her name, when the report date was, the expense type, lodging, mileage, expenses. I can even have it when it's approved, it's going to come across here. That's one of the filters I'm using. Also the PO number, maybe the job number that it's coming from, again, to be either pushed into projects or something like that, or just using as a reimbursement into a payroll. So again, a nice little tool here, easy for you to get around and save your actual information here. So let's go back here one more time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about benefits, and here's the benefit plans. Of course, you could see that as you do benefits, you don't some people go, I'll just change the dates and the rates in there. No, you're going to want to build new ones in here for the new year. So you can see my new benefits that are out here. You're going to then see my carriers, my classes, the different classes. Say, for instance, your staff member, owner, executive. Again, we can set that to the employee, what type of actual benefit plan they're on. General agent, life event reasons here. These are pretty much the standard ones that are across the US. Again, you can click on new here. One company I was dealing with, they have pet insurance. So their life event is a new pet. Down here, beneficiaries, open enrollment setup. So here's my open enrollments. Again, I'm going to have a life event, new hire enrollment, or an actual enrollment for 2022. It's hard to believe it's already 2022. Down here, they didn't follow the same thing here. I've got this the development team. They're not calling it a dashboard. They're calling it monitor open enrollments. That's supposed to be changed. I keep on harping on that. But I can take a look at my open enrollment, and then I can see, all right, who's actually completed the actual open enrollment, where they are at. So again, a good way to monitor that. Notifications, that's going to be across the board so that you can notify people. Again, as I applied for that job, it's going to notify the actual applicant that that applicant's been started. Okay. Expense management, property management. Those are the couple pieces that are added out there. Again, I've got security wide open. You don't have to start with that. So let's step over to time here. We have enough time. And I'm going to see the actual dashboard out here. I've got many different ways to bring in time. You can use your phone app. There's a phone app for it. There's a BioSmart. You can see that that's online. I'm going to see, again, this is my dashboard. I'm going to see who's in, who's got some punch exceptions out here that I need to fix, early in or late in. Get to see that information. So I'm going to see my time management that's out here, where I can see what my exceptions are. So if I need to say, for instance, this one here, I can actually go in and he did, and I can put in list punch and DC and save that record, and then that will drop off the list. Here's my PTO requests that are out there, and also my timesheet approval in that. In the PTO requests also, we can view this in the calendar to see who is actually out. So when we decide to approve or not approve, we can take a look at what we've already got out there. We can also do our approvals here. We're going to see that last week, we're going to see that May here, she's approved it, and also her supervisor has approved it. Again, I'm in as the admin, so I'm seeing everything across the board. Some of the pieces in configuration, organizational levels, again, we can go 10 deep on this, and it's easy enough to just change this to whatever you want it to be. So location maybe rather than region. And then underneath that is adding the different, let's cancel, adding the different regions or whatever it is over there. Also in that is the setup is we can do geofencing along with the time clock in that. So again, we can see where, if we look at the satellite view here, we're going to see actually where they can actually log in as an employee. One other thing I wanted to hit in the time management here is on the timesheets. Let's look at May here. In the time clock that I'm using here, you're going to see this is yesterday when I actually punched in. So it's going to take a picture of the actual employee. The actual phone app also does take a picture of the employee when they punch in. So let's go back to HR, and we're going to slip over to May and log in as her. So here's her dashboard. Again, you can see that she's got my HR up here. She also has that company information. She can go out to the internal jobs here. Her pay history would be here if I had that attached. Here's my time clock. And again, many ways to use the time clock. Of course, it's going to already log her in. So if I clog in here, I can have it select, okay, I'm working in the region 1, I'm working on this, and I'm working as a dishwasher in that region, that task. Again, many different ways to pull in time. So then if later on they hit this again, they can reselect it. I moved to region 4, I moved to here, and I've moved in to a cook position, and I confirm that punch. Again, it's going to put that time allotted to those spots. Or we can go out to the actual portal here, and it's going to log them into the portal where they can look at the time in that. 1 second here. And so we could also punch in this way, a PTO request or view timesheets. And I think, let's see, yeah, it's going to show that this one is the one that we looked at that's been already approved and pushed in. So along with that, she has her CPR certification that's past due or expired, and these also are expired here. So this is her view. And then if we go over to HR, we're going to see her compensation out here, her history of compensation, custom forms, my dependents, my documents. And again, as I said, all of these documents stay with the employee through the life cycle. So lots of documents there. Emergency contact, my summary, my direct deposits out here. So again, if we wanted to change the direct deposits, we could do that. It does check the routing number. So it has to have a legitimate routing number for it actually to push out there. And then you do the pre-post on the payroll side. My pay history, my W-2s will be out here, my W-4. And you can see that I've got all these approved. I can also add a new W-4 here, put my amounts in here, and then submit it for approval, which will show up on the HR admin's dashboard. Again, I've got security wide open here, so I'm seeing everything. So my achievements, my certificates, classes, maybe I've been registered for, we can hook up to, through APIs, we can hook up to LMS systems. My education, my I-9. And my I-9, I'm going to see in the I-9 here. Again, the documentation is going to be right here. Here's the actual I-9 for section 1 that's been signed off. Or again, section 2 is going to be there. So licenses, property, again, you say, for instance, they've got a laptop or something like that. Again, light. It's not, an asset management, but it's something that you'd be able to actually put property out there. Say, for instance, they got a camera or some other gear that they have as an employee. My reviews, my skills. Again, another place to go to my time clock here. My expense. I've set up a couple expenses, and this is the ones that we did. I have one still pending out here. So again, not to be, don't need it turned on, but again, we can do that. And then open enrollment. So here's the open enrollment, and it takes us right through the information. And as long as open enrollment's in here, I can make changes to this. So again, I've got a couple of dependents here, May has a couple of dependents. Also, I've declined the medical coverage. I can easily go over here, talk to my spouse. Well, let's go with the silver plan, and we'll put the kids on here. And as you can see, change to actually adding those employees and showing actually the employee how much these actual benefits do cost. Dental again. As you go through this, say for instance, I'm done for the day. I'll come back and take a look at this. It's going to save me where I was in the open enrollment, as long as open enrollment's still there, still open. My company directory. Again, you can see all the employees that are out there, who you're actually working with. As I see down here, Brenda Walsh, just remember to bring a cup of coffee when you go see Brenda. It's always a good thing. You can always bring me a donut. Also my position, organization, knowledge base. And this is pretty slick also. You can add a knowledge base out here. I don't have a whole lot of information out here, but say, for instance, you want to have a section that's just benefits and has the PDF of maybe from Blue Cross Blue Shield, what all they could anticipate. But again, one place to go to get that information, and you can tailor this and build this to your actual company. So that's me, and that's the employee self-service. So now let's go over and see what a supervisor sees. So here's Nicholas. And of course, I was in the last part of the knowledge base, so it brings me right there. But we're going to see Nicholas is a supervisor. So he's going to see the scheduled reviews under his management piece here. He's going to see that time off request that he can approve or not. Employee anniversaries. He's going to see those expired license and those expired certificates. But he's also an employee. So he's going to have his time clock here, and he's got his own reviews and his own expiring license. And he's got emergency contact that he's pushed out there. Again, he sees the actual same as the employees, but he's going to actually have manager services because he is a supervisor, and he's going to see only his employees. So here are his employees. So along with that, he's going to be able to look and add achievements, or alternative grades, certificates, compensation, education in that. Notes are viewable by him and the HR admin. Again, I've got security turned on here. We can adjust the security. So here's his applicant tracking dashboard. So he's going to see what employees are coming in for him on the applications, or he's going to see the actual onboarding dashboard where the employees are in the process. And so what he's got coming up there. Also management. So he's going to his expense reports. This is where he's going to see May stuff. And this is where he's going to go in and approve that information. Along with company directory, his time clock, and again, the knowledge base. If we look at the knowledge base here, he's got different security. We can set it up so that he sees different things. Maybe something, maybe a category is management, HR management or something like that, what do's and don'ts, or some training to that effect. Again, he has the actual HR admin here. So because he's an employee. So let's sign off with him, and we'll sign back as me, back to HR. And walk into my company again. And so if you also have multiple EINs, you can set it up so that you can, the HR administrator can see all those companies. So if I unlock here, say for instance, they had 3 companies or 4 companies. Oop, not that. Apologies. Is my company list. Having that. So if they build, again, you're building your questions or applications or anything like that, or your benefits, those all can be transferred between different companies in that. So Stacy, I could talk a lot longer, but again, I think we've gone all the way through the manager. We've shown the employee view. We did go a little bit on time. Again, many different ways to bring in time. And then we also talked about the supervisor. So questions?
If there's any questions, Danny, thank you for showing us this, especially, what I'm thinking about is we have a lot of companies coming to us saying, I do this manually. I still have companies that are handing out paychecks. So it's great to see that we can actually have an earning statement or a W-2 there, or some people still doing manually when they do applicant onboarding. All that manual process can be taken care of here in one system. So thank you, Danny, for showing that.
You bet.
So, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. But like I said, your partner is your number one person, but here's my telephone number. Here's my email address. Our website is www.integrity-data.com. There's so much information out there about HRP. So we are here for you alongside with your partner.
We always offer the video and the PowerPoint deck, and of course, we will include any other PDF you'd like. Really a lot of good information. I'm impressed. I love to see where you guys are taking this, and I am so glad Microsoft has handed this back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Yes, we're excited too.
Wonderful, and I look forward to working with you again soon.